Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid. We're jumping back into our game where we're casting the finals of the tournament. And I've got a guest visitor with me here. I've got Maerlande.
Howdy, Lucid. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and he'll be joining us for a few episodes. We haven't. I've kind of shown him some of the backdrop for some of the turns, but he hasn't seen all of it. So he's going to be kind of just jumping in, ready to go, and give sage advice and commentary.
Well, hopefully.
So, okay, we'll start this off. We've got a little... we're going to do, again, most of this from the world map, but I'm going to pause to read some of the kind of Diplo update messages coming in. So, from Ulm, we were contacted by Vanheim, who seems friendly but didn't offer a nap outright. He says he does not intend to expand further towards us. That doesn't sound like much of a concession given the geography up here. We'll go ahead and pull up where Ulm is so we can see what he's talking about.
Is this a message to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So he's... Okay, I'm not expanding much farther towards you. That basically means this one. Well, whoops. So yeah, so I guess Vanheim has had pretty nice expansion in the direction of Ulm. I'm happy with my northern border, although there are 2 turns of backtracking. With my initial expansion army, I was able to secure 2 provinces closer to my neighbor's cap than my own, and I boarded 2 thrones in that direction. The crazy barbarian commanders were dealt with this turn, but the tragedy last turn cost me an Ictid province, which Pythium just took. In a sense, it's okay, because as of now, I still envision attacking him fairly early, so any provinces he gets is just temporarily holding it for me.
Okay.
The priority now is pushing southeast, where there are many rich provinces guarded by heavy cav. Fortunately, my cav is better, and to make things smoother, we'll be using some cheap mercenaries as shock troops. So yeah, he's talking about all this land down here.
Can you see which? Has he bought the mercenaries?
I think he's using them in this fight. We'll go ahead and watch it. This is the battle from Ulm. Oh. So he's got these pirates, which are garbage.
Yeah, they're really trash, but the Soak Lances, that's okay.
Yeah. I'm always surprised by pirates, to be honest, because you look at them and you're like, okay, they're bad, but they're not that bad. They are experts at dying.
Well, single weapon, no shield, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they just don't kill fast enough.
Yeah. And then I think the risk is he may have HP routed his army now. Oh, but he takes it. Okay.
Yeah, that was a little touch and go.
He's still close to HP routing his army.
He must be.
Yeah.
And there you go.
There you go.
But it looks like he got rid of all the heavy cavalry.
Right. And fortunately, he doesn't know this, but there's no neighbors nearby to come and steal this from him.
Yeah. So, no, that didn't quite work out as well as he'd hoped.
Right. But I think he did it basically right, but he probably could have had these guys hit a little sooner. Because I think, like 1 turn, 2 turns, they basically hit. They got.
Did he have them on attack rear?
He had them on hold and attack closest, and. Okay. That basically meant the heavy cav got 1 extra turn with the pirates before the Black Knights hit.
Yeah, and the Black Knights got tied up a little behind pirates.
Right. So, maybe if they were positioned to hit a flank harder rather than behind, but I don't know. It's tricky to do, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm curious why he would want to be trying to take out the heavy cav this early, because it looked to me like he had other options.
Yeah, he could have maybe gone through the Ictids. So.
Or what about that one north beside his capital? That looks like just infantry.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get down and get to some kind of choke point, like establish a border more than he's worried about clearing out his cap circle. But yeah, this one be easier.
I understand that. I was just that it's a little bit of a small army to try to take out heavy cavalry.
Yeah, that's true.
How many of his heavy cavalry can he recruit a turn?
Well, we can kind of guess. I think there's 60-something resources, and he's got 300 in his cap. So
yeah, okay. But he's broke.
Yeah. So we'll see. He's got 20 guys here, mostly Black Knights. So hopefully things kind of turn up for him here.
He should be able to punch right through that now, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to our other message. We've got a message from Vanarus here.
Sounds good.
Most of my neighbors have been met at this point. I have not yet scouted my northern neighbor. I have not made a formal contract with Bandar-log to my west. But I have started diplomatic process with Pythium, Ulm, and Jotunheim on my other borders. Or Jotunheim. I believe I should be able to handle any of these neighbors if they feel frisky, but will probably not make any decision on direction play for some time. Jotunheim and Ulm look like particularly bad directions. I think that's because they're diagonals. Though because the terrain is not cooperative. If I had to funnel my invasion force through some narrow choke points, and after that, during the invasion, I'd be vulnerable to interference from third parties. I'd like to call special attention to my new fort. I'm just west of my capital, and in likelihood, there are viewers who are interested in luck versus misfortune issues, and I have misfortune too in this game, but it didn't matter because apparently I was lucky in real life. So let's see what he's referring to.
Oh, what's his scales?
Oh, he got the Azure Academy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's luck.
Yeah. This is real life luck, because this is a site, right? Yeah.
No, I thought he meant he built a fort already, and that would be impressive.
But finding a turn 8 fort, that's I can't ever think at the time that's happened to me.
It's exceptionally rare now, ever since they slowed down fort building.
Yeah.
You know, in Dominion 3, when all forts were 3 turns, yeah, you could do it.
Oh no, but I meant finding it, like by turn 8.
Oh, you mean
site searching
finding it
and finding a fort site by turn 8? Holy shit! I mean, but this dramatically changes the game for you. You know, like.
Yes, it does. Plus,
I mean,
Azure Mage's air and astral.
Right.
Yeah,
let's check out his expansion here. He's been using these Chud Herdmen, which hit like tanks.
Yes.
And he's got some. He's been using these before, I think, for lance soaking, which appears what he's doing here.
That makes sense. What are the shield guys in the front?
These are Huskarls. So they've got javelins. They're okay. They're not great. When Illwinter gives you lemons, this is how you make lemonade out of your starting army archers.
Yep. It's like getting Mercata.
Yep.
Save them for lance soaks. Oh yeah, pretty solid. They're berserkers. Yeah, no problems there.
They don't really have a hard time getting through that heavy cav armor like other troops do.
No, not at all. They just chewed it to pieces.
He probably lost 2 or 3 units. Oh, crap! He lost a lot more. So this actually was reasonably high attrition, but this is a really hard province. 17 heavy cav is a lot.
A lot of heavy cavalry. Yeah. A lot of players would have just left that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty clean.
Yeah, gold loss is pretty low. His income's only 22. What the heck? Is that a glitch?
Oh, well, it's probably just for whatever province I've clicked on.
Oh no, that's your income.
Yeah. I've got spies everywhere, so they're just going to show the income for whatever I've clicked on.
Yeah, I was looking at that, thinking we're looking at the nation. We're not looking at the nation's income.
Right,
that's yours.
Right.
You can't see how much gold he's got stored.
Right. I don't think so. No, I can't.
So you just kind of estimate it.
Right. Yeah, there's a few things we can't see with the mod.
He sure doesn't look gold starved to me. He looks like he's got all the gold he could want.
Right. I can't remember if I've seen, because it's been a while since I recorded the last episode. I've kind of gotten behind, but I can't remember what bless he had. Did he? He actually might have had. I think he has a prophet here. Let's see if
the prophet was smiting.
He's got shock resistance, poison resistance, reinvigoration, dark vision. So this is more focused on like mages and potentially, I guess, thugs are like a very high utility bless. Like not.
Well, I imagine the dark vision was just how to spend an extra point.
Yeah. let's see what he got for. I forget what their sacred troops are. Oh, it's these guys, the Oathbound. Yeah.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Is that formation fighter on those?
No, I think it's bodyguard.
Oh, bodyguard. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a little bit tiny here.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I got a big screen and everything, but I couldn't quite.
Yeah, some of the fine print may not come through on the Discord screen share too well.
It's not bad. It's not fuzzy and it's not choppy. It's just some of those little icons are tiny.
Okay.
Oh, and he's got a lich, a demi-lich.
Oh my goodness. Wait, where
was that? Is that you? You've got a demi-lich showing here.
Oh, the demi-lich is me. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. Those are my scouts. Little piles of bones. So if they run in, they're literally like Wonders Hero on every stat, except they're 1,000 stealthy. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at this.
Can you see the graphs? I'd be curious just
to
see.
Well, we can in a minute. I'm going to start infiltrating them kind of soon, but I can't see them until we might get to it in like next episode. Well, start infiltrating.
Okay.
It's a little annoying to the players because they'll see that somebody's infiltrating your cap, which triggers everybody.
Right.
But good luck patrolling out my 1,000 stealth scout.
Which nation's this? And I don't recognize those units.
Oh, so this is the new Jotunheim.
Oh, this is nice sprite.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, do they look good?
Yeah, they do look good.
Christopher's art skill just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, those are really good looking sprites. Just compare the lack of fuzziness to the deer tribe.
Yeah, it's kind of funny if you think about like the graphical progression of Dominions and stuff. Like other games are like, oh, we're upgrading our engine, we're we've got this creative team we've brought on. Ilwan is like, we're gonna double the number of pixels. We're gonna go from like 24 pixels to like 48.
Yeah, but
it looks wonderful.
That debate turns up every few months on the Steam forums.
It does.
Why don't they go to a 3D engine, et cetera, et cetera? What so many people fail to recognize is there's 6,000 sprites times 2 because there's 2 positions. Yeah. And I don't know how fast Christopher is, but if I remember right from talking to Somber, it's 2 to 3 hours. So that's a tremendous amount of workload.
Yeah.
Just to upgrade.
Well, I mean, yeah, not only just to upgrade, but it's decisions you make in development, like how much time are you going to put into each sprite, and if you decide to put a ton into it, then that's going to limit how many nations you can have. So a lot of the diversity we have in Dominions is because they made decisions to like not do that.
Exactly. Well, and the engine can handle these crazy, 10,000
huge battles. Yeah.
Without absolutely. And it runs on terrible.
Yeah. Hey, you're cutting out a lot more.
That might be because I'm not holding my button down hard enough. Is it crisper now?
Yeah, I'll let you know if it happens again.
Yeah, I'm using my pinky.
Oh, okay.
It's not a terribly strong finger.
Okay, so Jotunheim's expanded twice. They've got a decent little grasp, but they're kind of pinned at this border with End is really getting to them. I mean, it's just, I would say this is an extremely oppressive border from End. So it's going to be interesting to see if they decide to do it. Would you attack End if you were Jotunheim here? Like right away?
I would be. Can you move down a little bit? So he's being choked by Ulm as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it would be a choice I'd make based on which I thought was a better matchup.
Well, what do you think about that? I don't know how familiar you are with End, but
I don't know End at all. I've never even tried it. I don't tend to go play nations until they come up in a game.
Yeah.
I'm not really big on experimenting. It It's just I don't like single player a lot, so I just tend to grab a nation, work through the analysis after I get the nation.
Yeah.
And so overall, I've probably only played 20 of all the nations.
Yeah. I'm probably
maybe
somewhat
more,
similar.
But
yeah.
So I don't know End at all. In this case, I'd be jumping to Mod Inspector, carefully reviewing the troops, because he's got basically, I would say he either wants to push hard on End or push hard on Ulm, one of the two. Otherwise, he's
well, what do you think about the Ulm matchup? Because I know you know MA Ulm.
I do, and we're talking cold versus cold generally. It looks like Ulm is he going cold?
Yeah, he's gone heat in this case.
Oh, he went heat. Oh,
yeah.
So that's actually now, and I wonder if he's seen that blessed because Ulm didn't have any cold resist.
Yeah.
Okay, well that would change the equation in that he's, depending on what Jotun's planning to do. Now this new Jotunheim I haven't tried. I know it's got some extra power, but generally that is a cold nation.
Yeah.
You should be able to come up with something with chill aura.
Right.
Chill order can be a real equalizer against those heavy armored troops.
Yeah, I think that's very correct. The Scotty thugs, I think you get a good bit of mileage out here.
Absolutely.
Like the
Scotty thugs, and depending on his research, if he's rushed Breath of Wind.
The anti-elites that Ulm gets, these guys, they're still going to be okay against Scotty because they hit really, really hard. They're not. Scotty aren't sacred, so you're not going to get the Bane of Heresy thing, which is what really destroys sacred thugs.
And in the past, when I've played this, I've found those really hard to mass in large enough numbers to do the job.
Yeah.
You have to really focus on pumping them out.
Right, and then once you make them, you're in this little. You kind of don't want to put them right up at the front of your army because they're kind of hard to get. But then
they're very expensive.
They're kind of hard to get into position, to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're both, if I remember right, their combat speed and map move is poor.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't know.
Without knowing End better, I mean, after we have a look at some End troops, I might have a better feel. But
okay.
If I was to glance at it right now, his border to the east looks nice and clean.
Yeah.
But his border to the south, I'd be wanting to push to that mountain with the forest and push Ulm out of those two. Have a chance at that throne coming up to the west.
Yeah, I could see that.
That'd be... And then potentially, I don't know if he's got Magi with water, so he's got a number of options to get into the water. A Scratty with water breathing and a light weapon should be able to take out simple water.
Yeah, there are two water nations in here, but yeah.
Well, but he's got the little lake.
Oh, yeah.
Worth a bit of gold.
Yeah.
And also giving you the capability of some submarine raiding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Submarine raiding is a powerful potential in my team game with Rillier. It leaves, you could sit there and just have this threat constantly doing nothing. But at any moment, if they forget to keep garrisons or PD up, it's just pop out, take it, pop back.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very annoying. Bringing back bad memories of fighting underwater nations.
Yeah. See, and the other thing, though, in an analysis of which would be a better war for him, if he can grab that little pond, that is a direct shoot for End's cap.
Oh, no, End's cap's way over here.
Cap's way over there.
Yeah.
But it would give you an option to, open it up.
It's close to Vanheim's camp, though.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that would be more relevant if he already took a big bite out of End.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Who's playing? Who's the player?
I'm not sure. I'm trying not to get into who the players are too much in this.
Okay. That's
so
fine.
Far, but yeah.
We don't.
Okay. So let's move on to Nabaa, which I know you've got a series on your channel where you've been playing with Bowles on Nabaa.
I'm not playing. I'm not in the game.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually kind of like this. What I'm doing is interviews with so far 2 of the players in the game, and I'm hoping to do something.
Oh, that's really cool.
So it's similar to what you're doing here, is that I'm commentary and review, but I'm not in the game. I thought of joining that game at one time and then chose not to. I was kind of occupied. Okay, he's got... Yeah, this fits right in with the concept that Balls has been explaining, is these crazy little hawks absolutely mangle formations.
Yeah. And he's just got a few giants that come through and are cleaning this up.
Exactly, and they're not being hit.
Right.
Now, this is a really big expansion army, it seems to me.
Yeah. I don't know if he was worried about a bump or what, but...
I don't know, because I know with Balls, what we've been watching over is if he runs just 5 of those camels, it does the job. And one of the camel commanders, because the camel commander gets, I think, 3 of the hawks.
Right.
So you're looking at a total of 8 hawks, which is enough to, against most indies, to mangle their formations, get their archers shooting at themselves.
Yeah, these hawks have pretty high defense skills, so they're actually a little tricky to hit for a lot of indies.
Yeah, they are. And as you can see, you still got some alive.
Right. But, as you said, we're a lot of hawks. There's a lot of camels.
Yeah, and camels being mounted archers, there's always the problem that the gold per shot, cost of, is too damn. That's the problem with mounted archers. I like mounted archers. I think they're really fun. And I use a lot of them with Sauramatia. But the Sauramatia mounted archers also have a really heavy hit and they're high protection.
Right. And these guys are like paper cannons.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if it wasn't for the hawks, I wouldn't go near them.
And cannons may be a strong word, but yeah.
Well, they got a composite bow, so good range, but I think they're 11 damage.
Yeah.
So they're okay.
This is kind of interesting, because he has no giants here. I'm in a Naba game right now, like where I'm playing Naba, and I never found too much success with pure camel riders, but it seems he's making it work here.
Well, maybe he was really particular in noticing what was there, because it's mostly militia without shields, and only a handful of the heavy infantry.
It doesn't take many heavy infantry, though, to start ruining your day. But okay.
No, if there had been 10, and they'd made it.
Yeah. Archery is really weird in Dominions. It's kind of funny, because in Conquest of Elysium and stuff, archery is really good.
I know.
And then in Dominions, I think that would be a cool thing if they figured out some ways to make archery a little better between middle, end, and late game.
You remember archery in 3 and 4 when it was one giant wave of arrows hitting in a round. So it really nerfed archery in 5.
Yeah, people said the targeting is off with and I don't know how true that is. Like, I never saw anybody do an analysis of, like, in 3 or 4, if you had heavy cav running at you and you were shooting arrows at them, like 100 archers shooting arrows, this is how many you would hit.
Yeah.
And in 5, it got nerfed by this much. I never saw that, but people complained about it.
Well, one thing in this game is being square-based. Johan uses, it's called, isn't it, New York measure? So when you're on the diagonal, it does not calculate the accurate measure for the range. So if you're 10 squares over and 5 up, it's still 10. Range calculation. So there's an element of what gets a little wonky with archer fire, is if you're firing diagonally, you're actually shooting farther than you should be.
Huh.
You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah. Does that mean you're going to be less precise?
No, it wouldn't affect your precision. It means that, like, if you're
it's just basically a range and precision bonus if you're shooting diagonally.
Effectively, yes. Yeah. So there is some argument that archers in the corners have a bit of a gain.
I've never thought about that. That's smart. Smart, though.
Yeah. Well, engineering's my background, so geometry is.
Yeah. That's cool.
As far as archer targeting, well, I don't know. I can only kind of go on this intuitively because I've not done analysis. But overall, the effectiveness of archery has gone way down, because you used to be able to pull off things like Lesa, just run around with the Tavi archers and.
You're breaking up again. I don't know if it's your pinky, but...
I don't know what caused that. Well, what I was saying is that It used to be you could pull off tricks like expanding with Atavi archers for Kalesa. Of course, that only works in early age where the armor is low.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even been bold enough to test that. But do you have them on hold and fire, or hold and keep distance, fire and keep distance, or something?
Well, we didn't have that then.
Oh, okay.
So no, you just make a big mob of them, bust them up into 3 or 4. I'm talking 100.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Nabha has taken this and taken this. Nabha doesn't seem nearly as pressured as some of the other nations. And in fact, they're kind of pressuring... They seem to be doing okay. They're pressuring Bandar-log over in this direction. But yeah, it looks like Nabha has just a bunch of room still.
Absolutely. He could, from that easternmost one, if he goes north... Oh, something bumped on that farm.
Oh.
Oh, bummer.
Monkey problems. We can watch this.
Is that Tiger Riders?
Yeah. Tiger Riders, I have found, with a normal, like, non-super heavy bless, they really are not capable of expansion like this. Oh my god, and definitely not against that. But
he's only got 4, so he's also got the small squad morale problem.
Yeah. Well,
you know that, right? Anytime you're less than 5, you take a hit to morale.
What I have, okay, but he does have bark skin and twist fate, which is pretty strong on these guys.
And they have 3 attacks.
Yeah, so they're at 20 protection. So okay, this is a stronger bless than I'm used to kind of seeing on Tiger Riders.
But he's got nothing to keep his Brahmin safe. And we're going to see what goes wrong. Any bit of chaff.
Yeah. And there's no way you can really protect this with better scripting. You're just, like, maybe if you're in the corner and you have these guys on attack closest.
With only 4 of them.
It's hard.
That's what got him. It wasn't his tigers. It was the militia came around.
Yeah. Okay, but those are tough tigers. But, you know, these are Bandar-log problems of having basically naked Brahmin that are going to have to lead your parties around.
Yeah, it's a classic problem. One of my classics with almost all the monkey nations is very early buy an independent temple and pump out independent priests, so you don't have to waste 4 turns making.
That's a very good point.
I'd be right beside his capital, the first province I grabbed. If it had independent priests, I'd be popping up a temple there right away.
Right, that's a good call. I don't think I've ever done that.
Like that is Lanka. Well, it's for this very particular reason that you've got a problem. You're going to have to waste capital recruitment spots on crappy, junky priests.
Yeah, I could see how Lanka could be the same. But otherwise, you know, okay, so that was not great for Bandar-log, but, you know, otherwise things seem to be going okay. They've taken this with holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The balls on this player.
Oh, that was a bit of luck.
Oh. Yeah, let's watch that again.
He got lucky. He sniped the commander, didn't he?
Oh, he might have. I think he just murdered him.
Right.
Just look how fast these Tiger Riders kill things.
Yeah, he just did enough damage. They hit point routed. Yeah, can you pause for a sec? So the two
here are the commanders right here.
They're right smack dab in the middle. No, he didn't get them. Boy, he was only 1 round from a...
Oh my god. Well, I tell you what. I guess this is probably one of the more solid expansion blesses I've seen on Bandar-log.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
I guess the thinking is this. This is my thought on the thinking. Is if you have 20 protection and you have 16 defense, a lot of things are not going to get through that right away. Like this is gonna block a lot of the damage coming in.
Well,
and then you got twist fate when it right.
An attack skill of 13.
Right.
It's pretty.
And so basically you're going to be killing things pretty quick. You got pretty good protection, and then if something finally does get through the protection defense, you got twist fate. So
it's not bad. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And he must be awake to have Twist Fate up because it's incarnate, I believe.
Right, yeah, he's got a monolith here, so.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty cheap way to do it.
Yeah. It's got to be... Oh, it's Fire Shock.
I think that's a pretty nice looking...
Bark Skin. Yeah. Bark Skin's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it is.
Twist Fate's not that expensive either.
Did he do the... Hang on. Does he have the double resist? The Earth's double resist?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah,
that one's cheap too, so it's only 5 Earth.
Yeah. This probably is pretty reasonable scales.
And the monolith, of course, has all 3 of those paths, so you don't have to buy a new path.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This might be a fun way to play Bandar-log. Go awake.
Well, and for Bandar to have competitive expansion by turn 8 is good. That's skill.
Yeah. The only thing I don't love about it is taking Bark Skin on a Nature Nation. Because that's normally kind of one of your power spikes, is hitting, the point where you can do Wooden Warriors and stuff on your troops. And you're hitting that early, but then you're kind of,
But remember that Gurus are slow as Maerlande.
Yeah.
That's your main combat nature mage is an N1, S2 N1 Guru. And I think their map move is 10. So they've always been a pain in the butt to keep up with your armies.
I guess the other guys are faster, the Yogis.
Yogis are at normal speed, but they're only astral.
Yeah.
And then Rishi, I believe, are slow as well. What's the combat speed on the Gurus?
A 10.
Or the map move?
10.
Yeah, 10. That's painful.
Yeah, I guess this gives you the option to just kind of ignore the Gurus and do, basically only Yogi support armies, and then...
For army support, I'd be using Yogis, until you can summon Yaksha.
Right. And you can kind of ignore the Gurus, because you don't really need the nature to do bark protection and stuff on your troops.
No, and they're terrible combat mages, but there are a few things they're worth having.
Right.
With any monkeys. One of them is the S2 summoning of your summoned sacreds.
Right.
Because you got the, what are they called? Asrapas.
Yeah, those guys are good.
They're dirt cheap, and they're flimsy, but with bark skin.
Yeah. And then I'm guessing he's imagining putting, luck and body ethereal and stuff on his tigers, too.
Oh, I would think so, yeah. I mean, that's just obvious. Plus, his Pretender's awake, so that's a good research boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of these cases where astral fluffing definitely has... I always laugh at that word, but whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's... The only thing about these tigers is they're not very killy. So they run into a thug, and they're going to die. So I think, timings there are going to matter. With whether your astral anti-thug capabilities are online. But if you have those online, you can fluff and then go into a communion, and then you're going to have some very scary small army setups.
Another consideration I was just thinking about is when he gets a second fort up, this bless would not be bad at all on white.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because they don't kill great. The falchion hits fairly hard. But on the other hand, they're quite cost effective. And...
they're going to serve a pretty good role. Like having fire shock resistance 10, and then they're going to be
16?
21 17. Protection, probably.
Oh, you think? Yeah. So, yeah they're going to be... And for 23 gold, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. And then with Twist Fate on them, pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. I like his build.
Yeah, I do too. So we'll see how he does as we go forward. Okay, and we've made it all the way back to Vanarus, who of course we visited. I actually want to take a trip south, and I want to, because most of you have probably been waiting for an update on the underwater situation. So we had Atlantis, who has decided to rush the elves. Basically took his Pretender, ran straight across, and then has been kind of jousting over here.
How is it? Well, where the heck is his armies?
Atlantis or Yis?
Yes.
Well, Yis has glamour, and it's one of the things that I'm not able to see as an omniscient faction, is that even with the spy, I can't see his glamored armies, so...
Okay, so if we watch the fight... Oh, there you go, there's the Morvarks.
Yeah, so here's some. This is what? 2 per... Oh, I think they're larger, actually. No, they're not. Oh, yeah, they are. So, yeah, this is 8 or 7, and then one of these guys. And his bless is a rainbow bless. Attack +2, cold weapons, shock, poison resistance, cold resistance, magic resistance, undying, blood surge, and larger. And so for haters who have never liked the weapon blesses, I count myself among those. This is a pretty experienced player who has decided in a very competitive game to take cold weapons, and this is not for jokes. It's because he thinks it's going to be good.
The only part of this bless that I'm questioning is the larger on a size 3.
Yeah, I think I can speak to that. So the thinking on the larger is what you want with Morvarks is you do not want them getting surrounded. If Morvarks do not get surrounded, they almost never die.
Okay, yeah.
And so his thinking is if I have larger, I can just have a big long line with, like I can have a line go across the whole battlefield, and I don't even have to worry about it.
And then on land, they breathe fire.
Right, and on land, they're plenty killy, you know. And I don't know if the fire does it get bonus from strength? I don't know.
No, I think it's a flat 8 points.
Yeah, okay.
If I remember right. But it's a way.
Right. And there's a lot of things that come with larger. Like you get better map move. The defense kind of sucks, but you're also going to be hitting harder. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just rule of thumb, I guess, to me is larger makes great sense on a size 2 and great sense on a size 4 or 5. But size 3 is sort of that specific case where you lose so much density.
Right. And in this case, I think he actually wants to lose density, which is not something you normally say. Normally, you don't want to lose it, but...
good analysis. Yeah, good analysis.
And then here we've got Atlantis expanding near Yis. And he's got these Mother Guard. Now, his Bless is actually pretty good on Mother Guard, because they've got 6 base natural protection, so that hard skin bumps it up to 11, which is basically the same thing as having bark skin cast on them.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they've got 20 protection, which is enough that Mindies don't really do much damage anymore. And they've got a lot of HP, so...
Well, and the coral armor, tends to do a lot of slow, steady damage.
It's one thing I didn't think about, but on my god, like when I was playing Middle Age Atlantis, I got the longest series I've ever recorded on it. I think I took Reinvigoration ×2, and I think that was definitely a mistake. If I did it again, because I also had an Awake God, getting hard skin would have made a big difference in how well I expanded on these Mother Guards.
I mean, one of their weaknesses of these big shamblers is their encumbrance, but if you kill fast enough, that's not a problem.
Right. Okay, and it looks like he's preparing to go in their capital. He's got this huge army built up.
With the worm.
Yeah.
Some complete garbage troops, but...
Right. He's got these he's gotten the swimming men and the wet ones.
Oh, that's how he got those. Okay.
And he's also got a fair amount of Holy Threes, which he's been getting. Which, if you have Holy Threes behind all these troops this early in the game, he's in his cap circle. He's been in his cap circle, but it's turn 8. Right? Yis has 4 provinces.
Yeah, this is going to be painful.
Yeah. So...
But it could be one of these Pyrrhic victories where they both kill each other and just make themselves so soft that everybody else can... Except, there's very little competition in the water. We don't have Agartha, do we?
No. Yeah,
so there's really nobody without forging that's going to be, or lucky with independent sites, is going to be making any impact in that big lake. Right.
Whoever gets this lake is going to have a ticket for the rest of the game, basically, to be annoying to everybody on the coast.
Yes.
So, And if I were on the coast, I would be rooting for Atlantis to win, because I would much rather fight Atlantis than Yes. I mean, it's kind of a nightmare if you think about it. Let's say you have a bit like, let's say you're End, and you never know how many more Vark Knights are on your border.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do you fully commit to another war when all of a sudden, like, literally 100 more Vark Knights can come pushing in here?
Yeah, and they move very, very fast.
Yeah.
And they've got sailing on the commanders, don't they?
Ooh, I don't remember. Let's check.
I don't think they do. From the last time I played it.
They do. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it can go south really fast.
Yeah. No, I subbed in a game with Jackalore, crazy game with 300% gold and everything. And I subbed in as Yes, or Is, whichever. And it was absolutely insane, because I had these Morvarks jumping all the way across the dam.
Yeah. How does that work with... my God, I have to check. I can't remember how sailing works specifically with how many underwater provinces you can move.
It's 2. Generally, it's
2. Does it have to do with the speed of the nation?
No. I believe sailing is strictly 2.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, we probably have a big battle coming up next turn. Either Atlantis is going to go on top of the cap, or maybe kind of run down here and try to bump into these Morvarks. Hard to say.
And it's going to be a tough decision for the Is player on whether or not he keeps trying to grow a bit and keep his gold up.
Right.
And or whether or not he tries to defend on top. Because if he hides in his capital, well, then his income's going to go to crap.
He can't. I think if he lets his capital get sieged, maybe it could get sieged for a turn, but if it stays sieged, he's done. That's not a strategy.
Has he increased his province defense in his capital?
I don't think we can. Oh, we can't see. Yeah, 30. Yes, so he has. Yeah.
Yes, he has. So he's planning to fight on top.
Yeah.
I think we can safely assume that.
Okay. So moving on, we still got some nations to cover. We've got Pythium over here. He was a pretty good expansion here versus Jaguar Tribe. And then, yeah.
Well, and that's classic Greek, right? Tower shields and good armor, and
here he loses a mage to some Zots.
Oh, okay. So I think Greek nations, I think they're an excellent beginner nation for people who want to just try out troops and learn to script. Oh yeah, there you go. He lost.
Rip. I guess it was a diagonal because he was in the middle. It was from these guys.
Yeah. See, that's what I meant about that New York measure.
Yeah.
See, in on a hex base, well, they might have been adjacent, but on a hex base, that might have been out of range.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't shooting. I think they just poked at a diagonal. Let's watch it again.
That's what I meant. What I meant. Yeah. Are these the Lance Zot or the?
Well, here's oh no, it was right in front. He was in this tile. We'll watch it again. Yeah, okay, he was in this tile, and they land right here.
Yeah, I thought he was in the tile behind.
I don't know if he. Oh, and he has cheat fate on him too. So, he really got unlucky.
Yeah, he got hit twice.
Oh man!
Of the 3 units in the square, and 3 attacking it, 2 of them hit him.
Yeah, that's really unlucky. But he was kind of towards the front. But anyway, unfortunate.
I wonder why he brought a mage to fight bats.
I'm guessing. I don't know actually. Maybe site search. That's pushing it.
Yeah, it's an odd choice because he would have seen that there's bats there, and if you notice his script, he bunched everybody up on purpose.
Right, which is what you want to do for bats. Yeah. So nothing really wrong except maybe the question of. I guess it looked like he was casting cheat fate, so he was hoping to do some buffing. Yeah, maybe reduce losses, but his troops are going to trade really well against Zots. I think even in the dark, he lost a few. These are the pretty low protection varieties, but I mean, even still, this was fine.
They're dirt cheap.
Yeah. Okay, but Pythium, despite that, with he's got good troops, he's expanding pretty well. I would say Pythium has pretty solid borders, especially if he cordons off like this area for himself. He'll be one of the bigger nations.
Yeah, if he can on the west there, if he can snag those horse cavalry, the ones above.
Yeah, this one.
Choice. Well, either one.
Yeah, they're both a little tricky, and yeah,
and that army there is a little bit too. But if he can cut that off,
yeah, then he'll be in good shape.
Because if he goes at the forest directly south, he runs the risk of bumping into all the.
Right. Yeah, he could bump Statists here. Here, you're fading out again.
I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe my my control key is a little wonky.
Yeah,
I'm really having to hold it really firmly.
Is that on your keyboard or?
It's my keyboard. Yeah, I have an awkward problem because I bought a laptop. I bought a little portable mouse. I have humongous hands, so I really can't use the extra buttons because I can't even get to them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a quick change out for that key.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna move along. We're gonna hop to Copper Canyon, where we've got a battle with Vanheim. Actually, we'll just see if it's worth watching. Loses one van against kind of garbage, which you really shouldn't have happen. Or Van Herse.
Okay. So let me know if this makes it. I notice I eat too often at the computer. I see there's a couple crumbs under that key. Yeah, I need to get out the little mini vacuum and the old toothbrush.
Okay, I didn't even see where somebody died here, but yeah, you sound better, so hopefully that's...
I think that was the issue, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so we lost a van. I didn't even see how he died, but I didn't see anything wrong with the script or anything.
No, and losing one. That was... What was he fighting? It was pretty big.
It was kind of big, but it was garbage militia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a little surprising. That's why I went and checked.
But that van might have had an affliction as well.
Yeah, that's true too. And over here...
a lot of people... I mean, if I remember right, kind of the magic number for van expansion is 7.
Is it?
Well, because you don't want 5 or less. 6 or 7, you can take a loss or 2 and still keep going.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And 10, I think you can get away with 7 on almost everything.
Yeah.
I just remember that I don't play elves very often, and it's just in the back of my memory from people that are really big on playing elves, is that they can really tighten their expansion numbers to a very fine level. Okay,
so we've got 2 expansions out of Vanheim, and they're looking also okay. I don't see nothing looks terribly dire. They haven't pushed it all towards end, but we'll see how that goes. And Statists isn't expanding terribly quickly. They've kind of lucky. Nobody's expanded in their direction really, except for End, who is just a long way away.
But Van went roaring up to the north, leaving his east. So my assumption would be he's got another expansion party just about ready to go barreling off to the east.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would think too.
He might end up having to concede the provinces too from his cap, but I see no reason why he won't be holding his whole cap.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be getting these. I mean, I don't think End is gonna... It would take real balls on End to come over here and try to get his cap circle, but... we'll see. Speaking of End, let's see what End is up to. It appears they have a failed expansion here, so let's see what happened.
Yeah, and I don't know these units at all. This is totally new to me, so they look piratey.
Yeah, so the thing with End's units is all the ones out of their capital are sacred, and they auto-bless, so they don't even need a priest.
Oh, okay. What's the foot one? I don't recognize. Swiftness.
Yeah. So he's got attack +2, magic weapons, poison resistance, defense skill +3, MR +1, strength +2, HP +1. So it's a really cheap, it's a kind of, not cheap, but a lot of low-level rainbow stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, pretty cheap.
It's actually one of my favorite ways to play is Dormant Rainbow with a Rainbow Blast.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are pretty good. You know, they've got a shield, they got 17 defense, they hit pretty reliably. Unfortunately, there's a lot of heavy cav here.
Yeah, and he's got them staggered. Oh, ouch.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh!
Yeah, there you go. That's why. Can you look at the starting formation again?
Yeah, we'll go back. I just want to see everybody. That was so many troops too. Like, this totally should have been able to take this province.
Well, I think his layout was not solid.
Yeah, let's go see. Let's look at this. Okay, so tell me what you would do here.
Well,
you're going into heavy cav.
He's got 2 squads of them. I would definitely be thinking of having my 2 magi or priests, whatever they are, in the corner. And then the 2 squads, I would probably shove them way forward because he hasn't got any archers. So why wait? Shove them way forward. Put the 2 squads side by side, but a little bit apart. So hopefully you don't leave a gap between them. And so basically an L kind of formation. I would have gone with the 2 squads. I don't imagine he can go line formation simply because his commanders are probably not good enough.
Okay, see, I would do this a little different, but I think that would be better than what he did. What my thought on this is, they've got archers, but we have guys with shields, so we don't care that much. The heavy cav is a different speed than the infantry. So in my mind, best case is I fight the heavy... you're going to have to fight the heavy cav first, but let's fight the heavy cav as far away from the infantry as we can. So I'm thinking, get way back here, hold an attack... Yeah. Let these guys, because they're astral, they can do twist fate or whatever on your dudes. And then hold an attack in, but put them on hold and attack cavalry. And maybe have them in two blocks. Yeah.
I missed that those magi are astral. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. They were buffing themselves right up until the moment they died.
Yeah, and I did see that, and I don't know why it didn't register, but that does change the equation significantly. Yeah. So, no.
I think what he did here is I think he did hold and attack. I don't even think he did hold and attack closest, and he definitely didn't do hold and attack cavalry.
Well, and I don't know why the second squad's behind the first.
Right.
What does that do? I don't see that gets you anything.
You know what would be interesting, and I don't know this, I wonder if this squad was on hold and attack closest, and maybe his thinking was, these guys will catch anybody that makes it around the front guys, because I've got them scripted behind them on hold and attack closest.
Okay, maybe.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't, I mean, these guys all commit, and then these guys flank.
Is he using these mages as his commanders, or does he have generic commanders there too?
No, just the mages. This is typically how you... Almost all... God, we have to check. I don't think End gets normal commanders.
Well, see, another option is... If you really wanted to...
Well, they have priests, but yeah.
We're doing this a bit in hindsight, but if you're expecting a big mob of heavy cavalry to possibly get around behind, his squads were large enough. He could have gone with 4 squads, because he had 2...
Oh, that is true.
So each at around 7 or 8.
Yeah. But yeah,
it would have been basically you're faking line formation when you break squads up a lot.
Right. And I mean, honestly, especially when you have weak commanders, but I would say in general, flanking with heavy cav is something always to worry about. Like we've seen it, like we saw it get Bandar-log this turn too. They got
absolutely. See, and that was a change in Dominions 5 that Johan did quite a lot of work to improve the AI scripting for independence. So they're not nearly as stupid as they used to be. Were you familiar with the old bait and draw for barbarians?
Yeah, I mean, I knew you put a guy in the front with guard commander and he'd run to the back. I don't remember how you would use that particularly with barbarians.
Well, here's the reason. Barbarian commanders were scripted to attack commander. So you send 2 commanders, one in the top corner, one in the bottom corner, and all your troops with one of them. And one of the commanders will probably die, but that pulls the barbarian commanders down to the one corner, but all the barbarian troops go hit your troops.
Huh.
And so then you just kill the commanders and boom, it's over. So Rail was the guy who kind of really came up with that. And he'd go take out big mobs of barbarians with 10 troops and 2 commanders.
Wow. That's pretty clever. I've not heard of that.
Yeah, but it doesn't work anymore because Johann went and did some significant improvements to the sensibility. So you notice that barbarian commanders stick right smack down in the middle of.
Yeah, I have noticed that, but I didn't know that you used to be able to work around it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was one of those cheats. Some people would ban that technique, actually, because it was such a...
Yeah, barbarian province, free province. I've never thought that. 60 barbs, sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
It worked.
Yeah.
He published it. Most people never noticed it. He wrote a good guide years ago on scripting, and that's something that doesn't get covered a lot. A lot of people talk about all kinds of fancy magic use and so on, but just plain scripting is a really important thing at doing well.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we're done for this turn. We didn't really cover Statists, but Statists didn't do anything this turn.
Well, what do you think? What do you think his? I'm just curious. What do you think his strategy is? Because it seems a little like that's a lot of lizards. It looks like those desert warriors.
Well, this is middle age, so it's
so.
Yeah, well, he's got a few of the Sobek guard. I'm getting mixed up with because there was a Statists in the new casting game, which I'm also doing at the same time. I can't remember, and it's been a while since I did the last episode of this. I can't remember what he was expanding with, but he's got a bunch of these slave warriors, which are extremely good at dying. I highly prefer elite warriors over them.
Yeah.
In my mind, just Scales expansion with elite warriors is phenomenal with Statists. It doesn't mean that's what you have to do, but they're just so good.
Well, and Sobeks have a very low recruitment limit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I think 5 absolute max.
And the other thing with the Elite Guard is you don't even really worry about mini bumps because that Trident is going to kill player units at usually a pretty good exchange ratio.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the toughest independents to deal with in the game is...
Right. I mean, for the gold you get for these guys, like in the All-Stars game, this is one of the units I got reasonably early. Or not that early, but sort of early in my draft.
They're very efficient. 2 attacks.
15 gold, 2 attacks, so you're going to clear chaff. They're slaves, so half upkeep.
And the protection's not amazing, but they've got extra hit points.
Right.
Stats are solid. Not defense,
good attack. Like 12.
For a cheap unit, yeah.
Yeah. And the recruitment points and resources are nothing. So you can just... I mean, for this low of recruitment and resource points, there's almost nothing better you can get.
No.
Like it is A tier for cheap, for effective chaff. And the upkeep thing is a big deal because it has the upkeep of like a 7 gold unit.
Right. Yeah. Good points.
Anyway, but he's a little bit on the struggle bus. I'm not totally sure why, but if you are watching, this will have been like a day or two after the previous episode, and you will know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
I don't have any other questions.
You have any reflections? Who do you think's in position 1 right now, just from briefly having gone through it? We don't have the graphs to help you, so this is just going to be some kind of intuition.
Well, I'm really impressed with Bandard's build.
Yeah.
I think that's an extremely efficient build. He's expanded effectively, and with his, depending on if he grabbed Magic Scale, his research capability, and his potential to pump out massive amounts of Astral Nightmare on everyone, he's in a good position.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Bandar-log.
Especially
a lot.
Especially if his diplomacy is of good quality, he can kind of hold people off and play some against the others. I think he's in an excellent position.
Yeah. I'd say the only thing I don't like about Bandar is spawning next to Yis. But if right now Yis is between a rock and a hard place, so God, if I'm Bandar-log, I might even consider giving money to Atlantis.
But Yis is a threat to everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, really, 3 nations. It's a threat to Bandar-log, to Pythium, and to Statists right now.
Oh, you meant geographically, yes.
Right,
I just meant it wouldn't matter who.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Beside him, he's going to be a major consideration. But who wins the pond is going to have an awful lot to do with.
But actually, this bless is pretty good against Yis, because this fire resistance, which they have when they get blessed. There's still fire resistance 5, but fire resistance 5 and 20 protection is going to ignore Morvarks, the fire breath.
Yep.
Then they're just going to have to deal with the lance, or the whatever you call it, their spear thing. And I think these guys, if they're fluffed with Astral, actually win. Not body ethereal, because that's not going to matter against Morvarks, but luck probably. Like these guys with the luck, I think might kill Morvarks.
Yeah. And he's got some options for possibly nature buffing too. Various.
Yeah.
He could potentially, if he gets to Yakshas in the mid game, he can start running out and throwing regeneration on them.
Yeah. And that's going to be pretty hard to kill him, because then you have to kill him with luck on them before they regen back up.
And before they chew you to pieces.
Right.
They hit hard.
Yeah. Especially imagine them with Strength of Giants and stuff on them.
So I've got a spare screen here. I just wanted to take a quick glance at Morvarks before we finish up, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let's pull them up. Well, let's pull them up here with their bless on.
Well, I just wanted to look up the fiery breath. Oh, it's even less damage than I thought. It's only 6. Yeah. So basically, fire resist 5 is pretty much immune to it.
Right. With any kind of protection, because it's AP, right?
It's fire. So yes, it's AP. Got a length of 2, area of effect 1, so it just hits the square in front.
Yeah.
But
so he may be pretty well set up to deal with a land invasion from Yis.
He might be in good place for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, Maerlande. And I think if you have time, we can go ahead and record another one if you want to.
I wouldn't mind. Let's take a brief break for a glass of water and a bio, and I'm good to go. All
right. So thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode, and I think we will retain Maerlande as a guest.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.